Have you ever felt that universal pull, that uh, deep human yearning to live a life, not just live, but fully realized?
Hmm.
A life of purpose, resilience, and, well, true impact.
Absolutely.
Today, we're taking a journey through a really remarkable collection of wisdom, a treasure trove, you could say, of insights from some of history's most compelling voices.
That's precisely our mission today. This deep dive, it's designed as a shortcut, really, to being exceptionally well-informed on the very essence of human striving.
Okay.
We've meticulously gathered a stack of sources. Spanning centuries and continents. We've got ancient philosophers, modern motivators, civil rights legends, even Supreme Court justices.
Oh, quite the lineup.
Each one offers a unique and invaluable lens on what it truly means to lead a life of, let's say, conviction and consequence.
It's a truly diverse group, isn't it?
It is.
We're talking about voices tackling everything from the most intimate aspects of personal drive, self-belief, right up to the grand narratives of societal change and global justice.
And yet, what profoundly connects them all, I think, is a deep understanding of the human condition
Right.
and how we as individuals navigate its complexities.
So our mission then is to meticulously extract the most important nuggets of knowledge, those truly illuminating aha moments,
Exactly.
the things that can help you, our listener, carve out your own unique and authentic blueprint for a meaningful existence. So let's unpack this fascinating material together.
Wait, where should we start?
Let's dive into discovering that inner compass, first purpose, and self-belief.
Okay. Well, many of these profound thinkers, they emphasize a fundamental truth. True success isn't merely about accumulation or, what you acquire.
Not just stuff.
Not just stuff. Instead, it's deeply rooted in direction, intention, and clarity. It's about setting a clear course for your life.
Like plotting a course.
Exactly. Much like a seasoned captain meticulously plots a complex voyage, rather than simply drifting wherever the currents may take them. This intentionality, this deliberate choice of direction, that's what truly sets apart a life of purpose.
That's a crucial distinction, and it leads us directly to Earl Nightingale's incredibly powerful definition of success. He wasn't talking about material wealth, right? Not exclusively.
Not exclusively.
Nightingale famously declared, "The only man who succeeds is the man who is progressively realizing a worthy ideal."
A worthy ideal.
Now, this isn't just some vague, ephemeral wish or a fleeting aspiration. He's talking about something much more concrete, isn't he?
Yes, absolutely. A
Yeah.
deliberate, predetermined job or a clearly envisioned life path. It's about having a vivid mental picture of what you want to achieve.
Not just passively hoping something good happens.
Right, rather than just hoping for something better to come along.
And Nightingale's genius, I think, lies in showing us that this worthy ideal isn't exclusive to grand world-changing ambitions that only a few can pursue,
No, his concept of success is far more inclusive. It manifests in countless forms.
like his examples.
Yeah, his examples are wonderfully relatable. Consider the school teacher who teaches not out of obligation, but because she genuinely wants to. She finds profound fulfillment in shaping young minds.
Okay.
Or the woman who is a dedicated wife and mother by conscious choice, excelling at it because it aligns with her deepest values.
That would make sense.
It could even be the man who runs the corner gas station, not because he lacked other options, but because that specific path is his chosen one, and he executes it with pride and excellence.
So the key is the choice.
The absolute key here is the conscious, deliberate decision and the continuous, progressive realization of that deeply personal ideal. It's the journey, really, not just the destination, and the intention behind it.
What I find truly striking, though, and maybe a little sobering, is how rare this level of clarity actually is. Nightingale points out that only about 1 out of 20 people truly operates with such a definite, clearly articulated goal.
Only 1 in 20. It's a stark statistic.
It makes you wonder what the other 19 out of 20 are doing, doesn't it?
It does.
And to make this statistic really hit home, he uses that vivid analogy of a ship leaving a harbor.
Ah, yes, the ship analogy.
Imagine a ship whose captain and crew have a complete voyage mapped out. They know precisely where they're going, the exact duration, a definite goal.
Right. Total clarity.
That ship, he assures us, will reach its destination 9,999 times out of 10,000.
Almost certainty.
Now, that statistic is quite profound. In your view, what holds the vast majority back from this level of clarity? Is it fear of failure, maybe? Societal pressure? Or just not knowing how to even begin defining an ideal?
That's a fantastic and deeply insightful question, and the answer, I believe, is, well, it's multifaceted.
Hmm.
Often it's a complex interplay of all those factors you mentioned. Many people are indeed paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong choice, or just by the sheer magnitude of defining a singular purpose in a world full of possibilities and pressures.
Too many options.
Could be. Societal expectations also play a huge role, pushing individuals towards paths deemed successful externally rather than guiding them toward their internal compass.
Yeah, what others think.
And crucially, many simply haven't been taught how to engage in that deep introspection required to identify a worthy ideal. They might confuse, say, a vague desire for happiness or wealth with a concrete, actionable purpose.
Okay.
This lack of a clear internal blueprint leaves them susceptible to drifting, much like Nightingale's ship without a charted course.
So it's not just about wanting something, but actively knowing what it is and charting a path towards it.
Precisely.
And the ability to maintain that conviction, that singular focus on your worthy ideal, that's deeply rooted in our mindset, isn't it? It's not just external stuff.
No, absolutely internal.
Many great minds across history have highlighted this profound connection between our thoughts and our ultimate reality. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, the Stoic, he famously stated, "A man's life is what his thoughts make of it."
Such a powerful line.
And it resonates incredibly strongly with Ralph Waldo Emerson's more modern observation that a man is what he thinks about all day long.
Dominant thoughts.
Both suggest that our internal landscape, our dominant thoughts, our deepest beliefs, directly shapes our external experiences and ultimately the trajectory of our lives.
That's a truly profound thought, isn't it? It means we're not just passive recipients of fate or victims of circumstance.
No.
We are, in a very real and active sense, the architects of our lives through our thinking. But, for someone struggling with deeply ingrained negative thought patterns, this idea can feel incredibly overwhelming.
Yeah, how do you even start?
How do they even begin to shift something as fundamental as their internal landscape, which might have been built up over decades?
That's where William James, the pioneering psychologist, offers a revolutionary insight.
Yeah.
It directly addresses that challenge.
Okay.
He called it the greatest discovery of my generation.
Yeah.
That human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind.
Altering attitudes.
Well, think about that for a second. It's not just about changing what you do, but fundamentally changing how you think about what you do and how you think about yourself and the world.
So an internal transformation first.
Exactly. A shift from external action to internal transformation.
James then provides a fascinating and profoundly practical concept, acting as if the thing in question was real and it will become infallibly real.
Act as if.
Yeah. This isn't just wishful thinking, or a mere platitude. It's a powerful insight into neuroplasticity and the power of consistent mental and behavioral rehearsal.
Okay.
He suggests that by consistently behaving, speaking, and thinking as if a desired outcome is already real, you begin to weave it into your habits, your emotions, your very identity,
And eventually make it real external.
eventually manifesting it in your external life. However, he adds a crucial caveat, a condition many often overlook.
What's that?
To achieve something significant, you must really wish these things and wish them exclusively, and not wish at the same time 100 other compatible things just as strongly.
So focus is key. No scattered desires.
Exactly. The true aha here is recognizing that our internal conflicts, those simultaneous desires for incompatible things, are often the greatest barriers to our external desires.
That makes sense.
The insight isn't just to believe, but to cultivate a singular, unwavering focus, free from the distracting noise of conflicting desires. It's a powerful act of self-mastery in what can often feel like a very fragmented world.
That singular, unwavering focus sounds like the ultimate competitive advantage, doesn't it?
It really does.
It's about aligning your desires so they're all pulling in the same direction. And Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, a hugely influential figure in positive thinking.
Yes, the power of positive thinking.
He distills this entire concept into a simple, incredibly powerful mantra that's resonated with millions. He states, "If you think in negative terms, you'll get negative results. If you'll think in positive terms, you will achieve positive results."
Simple but profound.
And then he sums it up in 3 words: believe and succeed.
Believe and succeed. It truly underscores the foundational role of belief in shaping our journey toward realizing those worthy ideals.
It's not just optimism, it's like a strategic choice.
Exactly.
Now, this is where it gets incredibly compelling and challenging for many of us because it reorients our search for opportunity.
How so?
Russell H. Conwell's famous Acres of Diamonds lecture, he delivered it thousands of times.
Thousands, yes. An incredible record.
It challenges us to look inwards, not perpetually outwards, for opportunity.
Right. Not always chasing something out there.
It's a powerful counter-narrative to the common belief that success is always somewhere else, over the horizon, or in some distant, greener pasture.
Precisely. Conwell's central premise, which he meticulously researched by studying countless towns and industries, is that every man has the opportunity to make more of himself than he does in his own environment, with his own skill, with his own energy, and with his own friends.
His own environment.
Yes. He spent years talking to people, observing communities, and consistently found that individuals and localities often fail to capitalize on their own unique strengths, their immediate resources, the untapped potential right in front of them.
So look around you first.
The profound message here is to truly understand, appreciate, and leverage the inherent value that already surrounds you. It's about a radical shift in perspective from longing to discovery.
He illustrates this with that classic unforgettable fable of Ali Hafed.
Ah, Ali Hafed, the Persian farmer.
Yeah, who hears tales of immense wealth from diamond mines and becomes utterly consumed by this desire. Overwhelmed by this external longing, Ali Hafed sells his prosperous farm and embarks on this long, arduous journey to find a diamond mine far away.
A fruitless search.
Totally fruitless. He travels exhaustively, mountains of the moon, Palestine. Europe, spends all his money. In rags, consumed by poverty and despair, he tragically dies by casting himself into the sea at Barcelona.
Such a tragic end.
And the crushing irony, of course.
Is that the diamonds were right there all along.
Exactly. A successor on his old farm, just digging for potatoes, discovers one of the richest diamond mines in the world right there on the property Ali Hafed had sold.
Wow.
A powerful, heart-wrenching lesson. Discontentment, or that unshakable belief that opportunity is always elsewhere, often blinds us to the immense riches right in our own backyards.
It's a vivid and humbling illustration of how a simple change in perspective, just shifting where we direct our gaze, can unlock immense value.
Yeah, it makes you want to check your own garden.
Chuckles lightly, right? And Conwell provides another striking anecdote, this time closer to home, about a farmer in Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah.
This farmer found a block of native silver, 8 inches square, in his stone wall, literally right next to his gate.
Just sitting there.
Just sitting there. And what makes this story so remarkable is that a professor of mineralogy had previously lived on their very homestead, studied there for years, walked past that exact spot countless times,
And missed it.
completely overlooked this incredible resource. It powerfully highlights that specialized knowledge isn't always enough. Sometimes it's about seeing what's right in front of you with genuine curiosity, or having the right context, or indeed the right worthy ideal guiding your attention.
You have to be looking for the diamonds.
Exactly, not just walking past them.
And Conwell even gets a little controversial, maybe, but remarkably pragmatic when he talks about the nature of wealth itself.
His views on rich men.
Yes. He asserts with bold conviction that 98 out of 100 of the rich men of America are honest. That is why they are rich.
That's a bold claim.
It is. He argued passionately that genuine wealth often comes not from exploitation, but from being trusted with significant capital, from diligently carrying on great enterprises, and from attracting competent people, all built on an essential foundation of honesty, integrity, and reliability.
So trust as capital.
Yeah, it's a pragmatic view that challenges the common prejudice against wealth, reframing it as a result of earned trust and diligent service.
It absolutely connects back to Nightingale's concept of building a worthy ideal, because part of that worthiness often comes from cultivating integrity and trust within your community and your enterprise.
Right.
Conwell emphasized that if you genuinely care about your community and are attuned to its needs, you will inevitably uncover opportunities to create immense value, which in turn can lead to great fortune. It's a virtuous cycle.
And he has that fantastic story that brings this idea to life, turning local needs into fortunes. The woman in Connecticut.
Yeah, yes, the snap button inventor.
Right. Listening to his lecture, she goes home frustrated by her collar button sticking. Her husband, maybe teasingly, says something like, well, Conwell said there's a human need, there's a fortune. Get up a better collar button and get rich.
And she took him seriously.
She did. Instead of being deterred, she decided she would invent a better one. And she did the ingenious snap button.
Which became a huge success.
Huge. Made her wealthy, factories, even took her husband on her private scheme ship later. It just perfectly illustrates turning a common human need into a great fortune right within your own environment.
Recognizing problems as opportunities, it's powerful.
Absolutely.
And what's truly powerful is how this concept of understanding a deeper purpose, not just the what or how, resonates profoundly with modern leadership thinkers. It's almost precursor to what Simon Sinek would later articulate.
So next, start with why.
Exactly. If we zoom out and connect this to the bigger picture, Sinek argues that truly inspiring leaders and organizations like Apple operate from the inside out, always starting with their profound WHY.
Okay.
Most companies, he observes, communicate what they do their products, then how they do it, features, processes, but very rarely articulate why they do it.
But inspiring leaders flip that.
Fundamentally reverse this communication structure, leading with purpose.
So what does this all mean for you as an individual or for any aspiring leader? It means looking beyond just the what and the how of your actions.
Right. Apple, for a classic example, doesn't just sell computers and phones. Their why is to challenge the status quo, to empower people to think different.
The products are just the proof.
Exactly. Their innovative products are merely the what that manifests that core belief. This inside-out approach fosters a deep, almost tribal loyalty that transcends mere price or feature comparisons.
Sinek also uses the powerful example of Sam Walton and Walmart.
Walmart's initial success.
Its initial groundbreaking success was deeply tied to Sam Walton's clear WHY, paying good wages, keeping people employed, genuinely serving local communities.
But that changed, Sinek argues.
Yeah, when the company lost sight of that deeper purpose after Walton's death, focusing primarily on aggressive profit margins and expansion, it began to struggle with its identity and public perception.
Which proves Senek's point.
Totally. Money is never a cause, it is always a result. It's an outcome, a manifestation of a deeper, well-executed purpose, not the purpose itself.
This profound insight brings us to the very essence of self-creation, to the understanding that you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are.
What you are, that's key.
It's not about magical thinking or just wishing. Instead, it's about a deep, fundamental internal alignment. If your internal state, your beliefs, values, self-perception isn't congruent with what you genuinely desire, then true, lasting achievement will inevitably remain difficult.
You have to become the person who achieves it.
Exactly. It's about becoming the person who naturally attracts and achieves those desires.
And Les Brown is a master at conveying this truth with such infectious energy and raw honesty.
Oh, Les Brown is fantastic.
He speaks passionately about the necessity of having a vision of my own greatness, a powerful internal image and unwavering belief that propelled him from his challenging beginnings in Overtown to extraordinary success.
His Fontainebleau hotel story?
Yes. He held on to that vivid fantasy of the opulent Fontainebleau Hotel, not as something unattainable, but as a place he dared to dream of belonging, a symbol of his future self.
That vision guided him.
That unwavering vision, that self-belief, was the critical internal difference for him, guiding him away from limbo and toward his realized potential. It gave him an internal blueprint.
Cultivating this inside-out life also demands rigorous self-commitment expressed through deliberate action. Les Brown provides incredibly practical steps.
Like what?
He urges individuals to identify what has consistently held them back, those burdens, limiting beliefs, self-sabotaging habits, and then make an unwavering commitment to actively getting rid of them.
Okay, practical examples.
He offers relatable ones. Imagine resisting temptation by walking into a bakery, smelling the pastries, and then with self-mastery, walking out without buying anything.
Small victories.
Or making difficult but necessary decisions, like fairly letting go of an employee after careful consideration, even when it's uncomfortable. These are small, deliberate acts of self-mastery that build confidence and reinforce your vision over time.
He also powerfully stresses that without goals in your professional, personal, and spiritual life, you are just looking. You are not actively engaged in this world.
Just looking. That's stark.
He uses that brilliant analogy. It's like going to an airline counter, and when asked where you're flying, you just shrug and say, gee, I don't know.
You can't buy a ticket.
Exactly. Without a clear destination, without direction, you simply cannot buy a ticket in this life. Your goals are your destination, your blueprint, giving purpose to your efforts.
And Tony Robbins, another titan in personal development, echoes this with his distillation of the core characteristics of highly successful individuals.
What are those?
Passion, belief, strategy, clarity of values, energy, bonding power, and mastery of communication.
Let's zoom in on clarity of values for a moment.
Okay. Robbins emphasizes that true, sustainable fulfillment comes from living in profound alignment with your deepest, most cherished values.
Alignment is key.
If, for instance, you deeply value freedom, but your daily actions and career choices are overwhelmingly driven by a quest for absolute security, you will inevitably experience internal conflict and unease.
That makes total sense.
He guides people to meticulously define these values so they can make decisions that create congruence and purpose. He stresses that limited goals create limited lives, driving home the point that continuous self-development and stretching your vision, guided by these core values, are essential for unlocking greater possibilities.
Okay, so that sets the stage for purpose. But what about when things go wrong? When life throws you curveballs? That leads us into resilience.
Yes, navigating challenges and adversity.
Life rarely hands us a perfectly clear, neatly unrolled roadmap, does it?
Rarely, if ever.
More often, we stumble, face unexpected setbacks, and there are moments we genuinely wonder what the path ahead looks like, or if there even is one.
Uncertainty.
In these moments of profound uncertainty, Steve Jobs' iconic Stanford commencement address offers profoundly comforting and invaluable guidance.
Ah, yes, the connecting the dots speech.
Exactly, urging us to embrace that inherent uncertainty as part of the journey.
His core philosophy, articulated with such wisdom from his own tumultuous life, is incredibly insightful. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards.
Only backward.
So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever.
Trust the process.
It's not a call to passivity, though. Quite the opposite. It's a powerful call to persistent action, continue moving forward, coupled with an underlying faith in the unfolding journey.
Having the courage to plant seeds without knowing exactly how they'll blossom.
Precisely.
And he lived this philosophy in the most dramatic way possible.
His firing from Apple?
Yeah. Co-founding Apple, building it into a $2 billion company by age 30. 4,000 employees. Then boom, publicly fired.
Devastating, as he called it.
Imagine the humiliation, the loss of his life's focus, a spectacular public failure. But here's the key. He says this apparent failure ultimately became a catalyst.
A turning point.
It led him to create NXT and Pixar, which in turn allowed him to return to a revitalized Apple years later, not just as a leader, but with even greater creative depth and impact.
So the dots connected, eventually.
Exactly. It truly exemplifies how trusting the process, even through profound setbacks, can lead to unexpected, often more fulfilling paths. Seeing detours not as endpoints, but as integral parts of the journey.
What's truly fascinating and helpful here is Brené Brown's groundbreaking work on shame.
Yes. A tough topic.
An emotion so often hidden, yet so universally experienced, and one that deeply impacts our capacity for resilience and authentic connection.
She makes that crucial distinction between shame and guilt.
Yes. Guilt is feeling bad about something you did. I did something bad. Shame, however, is far more corrosive. It's the fear of disconnection.
Fear of disconnection.
The agonizing fear that something about who we are, something we've done, failed to do, or an ideal we haven't lived up to, makes us fundamentally unworthy of connection, love, belonging.
And connection is fundamental to us.
Absolutely. We are psychologically, emotionally, cognitively, spiritually hardwired for connection, love, belonging. It gives purpose and meaning.
So that fear is incredibly primal.
Deeply painful. Brown even points out that the only people who don't experience shame are those who lack the capacity for empathy and genuine human connection.
So feeling shame means you're human, capable of empathy.
Exactly, even though it feels incredibly isolating.
She also emphasizes the danger of silence around shame.
Immense peril. She asserts the less we talk about shame, the more control it has over our lives.
It thrives in secrecy.
Flourishes in judgment, expands in silence. When we don't acknowledge it, discuss it, process it, it silently corrodes our self-worth and diminishes our ability to connect genuinely. It isolates us.
So the goal isn't to resist shame, because she says that's impossible if we care about connection.
Right. Shame resistance is not possible. Instead, Brown passionately advocates for developing shame resilience.
Shame resilience, how does that work?
It involves understanding the language of shame, recognizing its specific triggers in our own lives, and then actively developing strategies to move through it rather than being paralyzed by it.
Like her gremlin ninja warrior training.
Chuckles, exactly. A vivid metaphor for learning to identify those internal critical voices, the gremlins, and disarm them. It's about building the capacity to lean into discomfort, process it mindfully, and emerge stronger.
Not shutting down or hiding.
Right. And this development of shame resilience allows us to cultivate true, authentic love and a deep sense of worthiness.
How does she define love?
Not as passive feeling, but something we cultivate. When we allow our most vulnerable and powerful selves to be deeply seen and known, and when we honor the spiritual connection that grows from that offering with trust, respect, kindness, and affection.
Wow. So it requires vulnerability and self-worth first.
It stems fundamentally from internal self-worth, a place where we're willing to be seen, imperfections and all. To genuinely love others, you must first cultivate love and acceptance for yourself. It's inside out.
And this framework has huge implications for parenting.
Profound implications. Brown makes that crucial distinction. There's a significant difference between telling a child, you are bad, and you did something bad.
Labeling the person versus the behavior.
Exactly. Shaming a child by labeling them bad corrodes their belief in their inherent goodness and ability to improve. It attacks their core identity.
But addressing specific behaviors leaves room for growth.
It leaves room for them to learn, apologize, change their actions without attacking their inherent worth. It fosters resilience and a healthy self-concept.
Now shifting gears slightly, but still on resilience. In the face of the darkest human experiences imaginable, Viktor Frankl's insights from man's search for meaning are just essential.
Absolutely essential. His observations from Auschwitz reveal the profound power of purpose and hope.
A testament to the indomitable human spirit.
Frankl meticulously observed that among the prisoners, those who maintained a sense of purpose and hope, however small, were often far more likely to survive, regardless of physical condition.
So it wasn't just physical endurance.
No. It was the psychological and spiritual resilience, the tenacious grip on a why. This highlighted a powerful internal locus of control, the ability to find meaning even when all external control was stripped away.
The ultimate affirmation of human agency.
And he didn't just observe this, he lived it.
How did he survive?
He survived by focusing intensely on internal resources, cultivating vivid memories of his wife, clinging to the hope of reunion, and envisioning future goals, like lecturing about his experiences and developing logotherapy.
Internal anchors.
They became his literal lifeline, sustaining him through unimaginable suffering. He also makes that very important distinction about existential concern.
Right, that searching for meaning isn't a mental illness.
Precisely. He clarified that existential concern or even despair in searching for the full meaning of one's life is an existential distress, but by no means a mental disease.
That was revolutionary.
Especially coming out of that trauma. Frankl argued against immediately medicating what he saw as a fundamental human search for purpose. A doctor's role isn't to medicate it away, but to guide patients through it, helping them find their unique meaning.
Fostering growth, not suppression.
Exactly. He even briefly touches on the idea that being able to laugh at one's neurosis can be a profound sign of progress, indicating psychological detachment and mastery.
Wow. But this brings up a crucial question, doesn't it? How do we cultivate this kind of profound, enduring joy when external circumstances are so often beyond our control?
A key question. For answers, we can look to the ancient Stoics, like Seneca, who offers a powerful, perhaps counterintuitive perspective.
Seneca. What was his take on joy?
He argued that real joy is a stern matter, not the lighthearted, fleeting pleasure we often associate with happiness.
A stern matter. That sounds tough.
It involves contemplating and courageously enduring poverty, pain, even death. It's a joy that springs not from avoiding difficulties, but from confronting them, accepting them, and finding equanimity within them.
A radical redefinition of happiness.
He emphasizes that true lasting joy comes from your own store, originating entirely from within, from one's rational judgment, absolutely not from external baubles or superficial gratifications.
So internal sources only.
Fleeting pleasures afford only a thin layer of happiness, easily shattered. The joy he advocates for is robust, solid, enduring, revealing itself more fully the deeper you penetrate your inner self and align with your highest principles. A self-sufficient wellspring.
So for Seneca, virtue isn't just about being good.
It's the fundamental pathway to this profound internal happiness. He makes an extraordinary argument. Virtue alone can make a man truly happy, even amidst unremitting and extreme pain.
Even in extreme pain.
And if it can do that, he posits, it can also render him completely happy, irrespective of natural gifts or external advantages like health or wealth. The laws of life as a whole provide the proper judgment, meaning our understanding and acceptance of the fundamental nature of existence and our rational place within it are paramount. It's a complete shift from seeking happiness in what happens to you to finding it in how you respond.
An internal fortress against external chaos.
Beautifully put.
Okay, so we've covered purpose, self-belief, resilience. Now let's shift to the power of communication, speaking your truth, part 3.
Yes, the power of communication and conviction. The art of rhetoric, persuasive communication, it's been intensely debated for millennia. Plato, through Socrates and Gorgias and Phaedrus, drew a very clear line
Between what?
between rhetoric as a mere tool of persuasion and rhetoric as a noble pursuit of truth and moral betterment, a distinction still incredibly relevant.
Plato had a pretty dim view of rhetoric when it was just about winning arguments or manipulating crowds, right?
Very dim. He saw it as just a knack, a form of flattery aimed at gratifying the masses, appealing to prejudices, rather than genuinely educating or improving souls.
He was pushing back against this office.
Exactly. Who taught rhetoric as a means to power, often regardless of ethics or truth? For Plato, persuading without knowledge of truth is like being a cook making palatable speeches without real nourishment.
So what was his ideal?
True rhetoric, for Plato, fundamentally requires knowledge of truth and justice, and its ultimate aim must be to bring justice and moderation and every other virtue to birth in the souls of his fellow citizens.
So improving society, not just winning.
Exactly, cultivating goodness, shaping character. He was also famously skeptical about the written word itself in Phaedrus.
Why skeptical of writing?
He argued that once an idea is written, it cannot answer back. It's static, easily misinterpreted without the dynamic nature of direct dialogue. He believed true education happened only in private, one-to-one, philosophic dialogue.
Fascinating critique. He preferred the live exchange.
Absolutely, where ideas could be tested and refined in real time. Of course, Aristotle, his student, took a more pragmatic approach.
Right, Aristotle systematized rhetoric.
Acknowledging its power and utility, he identified the 3 means of persuasion still foundational today: ethos, speaker credibility,
Pathos, emotion.
and logos, logic and evidence. But what Aristotle emphasized was the strategic interplay between them.
Not just logic alone.
No, you needed credibility, ethos, to deliver it convincingly, and emotional resonance, pathos, to make it stick and move people. He understood you needed to know what motivated an audience: victory, honor, money, and use vivid metaphors and storytelling.
Connecting facts to human experience.
Precisely. And then we move to the Roman orators, who meticulously built on these Greek foundations. Cicero, for instance.
Arguably the greatest Roman orator.
He understood the power of language, not just to inform, but to move people, to sway their souls. He believed an orator must not only content those satisfied by logic, but be wonderful as well to those receptive to deeper persuasion.
He knew emotions were key.
Keenly recognized that people often judge more by hatred or love or desire or anger or grief or joy or hope or fear or error or some other emotion than by truth or rule or law. Emotions often hold sway.
So for Cicero, it wasn't enough to just present facts.
No, you had to connect emotionally. Not manipulation, but a holistic approach. He called for clear, elegant, pleasing speech, balancing summaries with memorable details and compelling narratives. Masterful.
In Quintilian, he offered a system too, right?
Yes, another towering Roman authority. Gave us an incredibly comprehensive system. 5 essential parts for oratory.
Okay, what are they?
Invention, what to say, arrangement, how to organize it, expression, phrasing with elegance, memory, recalling it, and delivery, presenting with power.
Delivery seems crucial.
Quintilian's advice on delivery is particularly detailed and timeless. Voice modulation, gesture, varying tones for different emotions, grief, anger, pity. He critiqued chanting instead of speaking, which he saw as stripping communication of its natural power.
And ethically.
Crucially, aligning with Plato, he asserted that true rhetoric is impossible for any save a just and good man. Eloquence without virtue was just a hollow tool, potentially manipulative.
Okay, moving from theory to practice, we see this raw power of speaking truth to power in Sojourner Truth.
Absolutely. Her famous "Ain't I a Woman" speech.
Delivered impromptu at a women's rights convention, a masterclass in direct, personal, effective address, challenging both racial and gender norms, with rhetorical questions from her own lived experience.
Her words, delivered with undeniable moral authority, cut through abstract arguments with unassailable personal testimony.
Recounting her grueling labor.
I have plowed and planted and gathered into barns, and no man could head me, and ain't I a woman?
In her suffering as a mother.
I have borne 13 children and seen them most all sold off to slavery, and when I cried out with my mother's grief, none but Jesus heard me, and ain't I a woman?
Those simple, devastating questions expose the hypocrisy.
Of those claiming women needed help while she, a black woman, received none. And her line, I can't read a book, but I can read the people. Her rhetoric wasn't flowery, but authentic, persuasive, rooted in truth.
And then there's Frederick Douglass, equally powerful.
Using his incredible rhetorical skill to indict American society in his blistering speech, "What to the slave is the 4th of July?"
He refused to take easy stances.
Delivered a scorching critique of a nation celebrating liberty while perpetuating slavery, held up a mirror to the nation's conscience.
Forcing it to confront its moral contradiction.
Douglas's speech is a masterful, almost surgical use of rhetoric to expose hypocrisy. He declared, "This 4th of July is yours, not mine. You may rejoice, I must mourn."
So powerful.
He painted that agonizing picture. The sunlight that brought life and healing to you has brought stripes and death to me. His words were an unapologetic challenge to the dehumanizing status quo.
Taking a side.
Unwavering. Siding with the right against the wrong, with the weak against the strong, and with the oppressed against the oppressor. Rhetoric in its highest, most ethical form, demanding justice through unvarnished truth.
These examples powerfully demonstrate that the highest form of rhetoric, as Plato envisioned, really is rooted in that profound commitment to justice and truth.
Even when it means confronting uncomfortable realities, enduring backlash, speaking truth directly to power, it's about courage, conviction, and a deep moral understanding.
Okay, this leads us beautifully into our final section, shaping the world justice, community, and lasting impact.
Yes, part 4. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the passionate calls for justice throughout history often echo the foundational aspirations of nations, while simultaneously revealing how often those ideals remain unfulfilled.
Like Lincoln at Gettysburg.
Exactly. Delivered during the crucible of the Civil War, he invoked the nation's genesis, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal, a powerful reminder of the founding promise.
Lincoln framed the war itself as a monumental test, didn't he?
He did, asking with profound gravity whether that nation or any nation, so conceived and so dedicated, can long endure. It was more than a battle over territory. It was whether the American experiment in self-governance could survive its greatest internal challenge.
Showing that even then the work of justice was painfully unfinished.
And that unfinished work continued with immense force in the fight for women's rights, Elizabeth Cady Stanton's Declaration of Sentiments.
At Seneca Falls, 1848. Groundbreaking.
It laid out comprehensive demands for equality, mirroring the Declaration of Independence itself. Truly radical for its time.
Her declaration listed shocking grievances. Women denied education, all colleges being closed against her.
Shutting them out of intellectual life.
Demanding equal participation in church affairs, challenging apostolic authority for her exclusion from the ministry.
Bold moves.
And crucially, calling for an end to the double standard, a different code of morals for men and women. Stanton, with incredible foresight, anticipated the backlash.
Misconception, misrepresentation, and ridicule.
Yet she declared her unshakable resolve to use every instrumentality, agents, tracts, petitions, the pulpit, the press, to achieve their object. She knew it would be a long, hard fight.
Centuries later, Ruth Bader Ginsburg's career reveals that persistent, incremental struggle for equality within legal frameworks.
Tireless work, meticulous strategy.
Dismantling centuries of entrenched sex-based discrimination, challenging seemingly unassailable precedents. A strategic, long-game pursuit of justice.
Her legal career is a testament to individual impact through law. Key legislation like the Equal Pay Act, Title VII, Title IX.
Crucial steps.
But also influencing the Supreme Court's dismantling of discrimination embedded in everyday life, like married women in the military denied housing allowances granted to men.
Or laws designating husbands as head and master.
Denying women legal autonomy. Reforming discriminatory jury selection, parental support laws, and her belief in the power of graveyard dissents.
Yes, persuasive dissents.
Written by a minority. Not immediately changing the law, but laying the intellectual groundwork for future arguments. She believed they often become the majority opinion years later.
A long-game vision for justice, believing in the power of reason.
The struggle for equality, though, extended far beyond any single nation's legal system.
Global struggles against oppression revealed similar patterns. Nelson Mandela's "I am prepared to die" speech.
Delivered during his trial, a searing indictment of apartheid as profound human degradation.
He exposed with chilling clarity the systemic lack of human dignity experienced by Africans under white supremacy. Not generalities, but specific injustices.
Like economic disparity, denial of union recognition.
The humiliating, family-destroying pass laws causing immense social breakdown. He highlighted how Africans were legally prevented from altering the economic imbalance compared to whites in their own country.
A detailed account of human rights violations, and that burning yearning for freedom. Which of course brings to mind Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream."
A transcendent speech, a global beacon for human rights and racial justice that continues to inspire.
Beyond these grand pronouncements, beyond legal battles, the often understated idea of community emerges as a truly substantial force.
Mm.
Kurt Vonnegut, with his characteristic wit and wisdom, asserted, "Communities are all that's substantial about the world. All the rest is hoopla."
He really cut through the noise, didn't he? With his keen sociological eye, he worried about increasing loneliness from small, isolated families.
He thought we needed bigger groups.
Believed humans are meant to live in stable, like-minded extended families or communities of 50 or more. It underscores a critical truth. Our well-being, belonging, psychological health are tied to the strength and interconnectedness of our communities.
Without them, we're adrift.
Profoundly diminished. And this interconnectedness leads to that powerful, challenging message. Hope isn't a choice. It's a moral obligation. It's a human obligation.
Not just optimism.
No. It's described as being at home in darkness, meaning relentlessly grappling with despair, actively engaging with it, not passively succumbing. An active engagement with the world's challenges, an obligation to persist.
If we lose hope, we lose our soul.
Our will to engage and improve. This moral obligation extends to what we might call the kindness of strangers.
Like the abolitionist movement.
Historically significant because they were the first people to create a national and global movement to defend the rights of those they did not know.
Acting beyond self-interest.
Prior to this, grievances were usually filed for oneself or one's group. Abolitionists acted without direct benefit, establishing an unprecedented precedent for altruism and collective moral action on a massive scale. A profound extension of empathy.
And it's truly incredible how that precedent connects to our modern world.
It does.
Today, that compassionate ethos manifests in this vast world of nonprofit, civil society, schools, social entrepreneurship, non-governmental organizations, working tirelessly for social and environmental justice globally.
It's tens of millions of people.
Day in, day out, committed to helping those they'll never know, addressing issues far removed. The sheer scale, building on those early movements, is unparalleled.
This raises an important question. What is our responsibility to the past, to the lessons learned, and to each other in shaping the future? Elie Wiesel offers profound insight on memory.
A Holocaust survivor.
He speaks of future generations becoming custodians of that tale of suffering and resistance. He acknowledges a terrible dilemma wanting us to remember, knowing we can't remember everything. Even he couldn't recall every detail. Yet the imperative to try to bear witness remains unyielding.
And his belief in encounters.
Deeply believed in people meeting, not to debate, but simply to genuinely explore an issue and see where it leads. A pathway to solutions, even for complex problems like capital punishment. Shared human inquiry.
And on the global stage, Theodore Roosevelt.
His view on international order emphasized a robust, pragmatic realism. Believed, our business is to create the beginnings of international order out of the world of nations as these nations actually exist.
Dealing with the world as it is.
Recognizing we deal with nations and men as they are, flaws, ambitions, conflicts. He famously, starkly said, "Treaties will never acquire sanctity until nations are ready to seal them with their blood," underscoring the serious commitment required for genuine global peace.
Dealing with reality, however harsh, as a prerequisite to making the world better.
Ultimately, these threads, individual purpose, collective justice, personal resilience, global responsibility, all weave together into a powerful understanding of how individuals contribute to something much larger than themselves.
Not a static goal, but a constant process.
A dynamic, ever-evolving process of deep engagement with the self, community, and the world.
Wow. We've covered so much ground.
We've truly journeyed through a remarkable and expansive landscape of thought today, haven't we? From the intensely personal pursuit of purpose to the arduous global fight for justice,
Yep.
what powerfully emerges from this rich tapestry of wisdom is an interwoven narrative about the profound human capacity for growth, for astonishing resilience, and for leaving an indelible, meaningful impact.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now as you navigate your own life? It's abundantly clear that finding your worthy ideal, meticulously unearthing your acres of diamonds in your own environment, and diligently building shame resilience, these aren't just abstract philosophical concepts.
No, they're actionable.
They are, in fact, incredibly actionable steps, profound internal work that can truly transform your existence. And using your unique voice, whether it's in a quiet, empathetic conversation, a challenging dialogue in your community, or a public address to speak your truth and champion community, well, that's a legacy profoundly worth striving for.
Absolutely.
Russell Conwell, in his Acres of Diamonds lecture, spoke of hidden treasures in our own backyards, not just literal wealth, but overlooked opportunities.
Right.
Perhaps the greatest acres of diamonds are not material at all, but rather the profound opportunities for deeper connection, for advocating for justice, and for courageous communication that lie within our immediate reach, just waiting patiently to be cultivated.
That's a powerful thought to end on.
What hidden diamonds are you ready to unearth in your own life and in your community right now?
A question for everyone listening.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep making your indelible mark.